channel. You're watching with Wombat, and this is a re-record because the previous reaction video I recorded had an audio error that I couldn't fix, so here I am again. I had planned for doing like a Christmas Day upload, but you know, now it's after Christmas and the holiday is just about over, but here we are anyway, and I hope you all are still in a festive mood. We are going to continue our rewatch of Star Trek Lower Decks. So, if I recall, last week was the Deep Space Nine episode, an episode that I had been looking forward to the entire show, and it did not disappoint. You know, with Major Kira and Quark to a lesser degree, it was everything I could have asked for in a Deep Space Nine Lower Decks crossover. We learned a little bit about Tendi and her complex relationship with her culture as an Orion. Everything we knew about the Orion Syndicate we got from very briefly in TOS, and then I don't know if we learned anything about Orions in Next Generation, but we learned quite a bit about the Orion Syndicate in Deep Space Nine, and I think they made a brief appearance also in Enterprise. But we learned that Orions are generally perceived as a culture of pirates and thieves and such, and Tendi is not like that, of course. Meanwhile, Mariner got to know Jennifer's friends, and that didn't disappoint either. I mean, it was a horrifying social situation. Any introvert like myself would be terrified to find ourselves in, which was interesting because Mariner, I don't think Mariner is an introvert, but she found it a very daunting experience, and she handled it the way I wish I could have handled those experiences. It's not that I don't want to be social, I do. I want to make friends and strengthen current relationships, but I'm just really bad at prolonged social exposure. I'm an introverted wombat. So moving away from that really quickly, it's been a tough week. Something went afoul with my foot, and now I'm on a combination of crutches, walking cane, a boot, and a little bitty scooter to try to get around because I can't walk around on my left foot because it's... Hey everybody, old man Wombat coming at you at the speed of a drunken wombat foot because it's messed up. And if you've ever had a foot injury, you know that it's just about as frustrating an injury as one can get because now it's a huge hassle to go anywhere. So now I'm a hop-along wombat too. Anyway, we are just going to go right into it. So like I said, because I had an audio issue with my last record, this is not the first time I'm watching this episode. This is the second time I'm watching the episode, but I'm going to do my best. I do remember I really enjoyed this episode a lot, so hopefully I'll still have a lot to say. But no more delays, let's dive right into it. Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 7, A Mathematically Perfect Redemption, previously on Star Trek Lower Decks. And I remember first time I watched this that I wanted to go back and see if this footage actually appeared in the Season 1 finale, Peanut Hamper. You know, I said I've seen this episode, but yet I can't get over the hilarity of Peanut Hamper's name.
We're all going to die! Peanut Hamper! There are so many lives at stake!
Was Rutherford going through like a whole bunch of different accents there? R.I.P. Shax.
Now they're all going to die.
Hey there, Titan! In the beautiful, brilliant, super artistic, such a huge difference in mood between this and what's to follow, but it's so beautiful. The how they changed the opening theme song. Oh, it was really short. It could be longer. Yeah, Mathematically Perfect Redemption. That's what it's called.
It was my first day. They expect me to sacrifice
See, simply because
myself on
it's
day.
Peanut Hamper's first day, I suspect that Peanut Hamper did not appear in the Season 1 finale.
I scraped up enough dilithium to juice it to warp factor 0.02, maybe 0.03.
Were you going to get anywhere at warp 0.02?
Look, I hope you know that whatever happens out there, you've got a friend for life.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. I think that's how the song goes. I'm not sure. Uh-oh. And I do remember thinking that with the collapsed warp bubble, Peanut Hamper's little craft should have been torn apart. But hey, what do I know about warp field physics?
What? Rattan? What the?
What is rattan supposed to mean? I feel like I should know what rattan stands for or whatever, but I just don't.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot how even more inappropriate than usual this episode is. By inappropriate, I mean just not for kids.
But I'm kind of sensing that everyone here hates me.
Fear, not hate.
Kind of looked like hate.
Oh, yes. Indeed.
I don't remember the exocomps being able to replicate something.
Peanut hamper is...
So are these supposed to be like hawk people? Because I'm pretty sure there was like a hawk cry.
Father.
Ah, yeah, this Rauda with his amazing 4-pack?
Father, I am next to be the villain.
It's a 4-pack, but he's pretty ripped otherwise. And the flying goat?
Personal log.
Sky goat. Sky pig. With beaks? The music for this episode is just great. It's just such a great... it makes me uncomfortable. Yes, I worked on a farm for a couple of days when I was younger, so I know it needs to be done, but
Okay, hold still. I said hold still, damn it!
really not liking Peanut Hamper.
This is the incubation hut.
Now what was that supposed to be? Like a phaser on the lowest setting? Spread beam? I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Oh, Peanut Hamper, I can't help but be full of song when I'm with you.
Oh. Wow. That was harsh.
I had plans to get away to Free Cloud, become a Dabo girl.
Was Free Cloud one of the planets in season 1 of Picard?
Oh, I long for the touch of your nozzle.
Okay. I don't even know what that was supposed to be, but that was hilarious. Those flying turtles?
In the distant past, the Arior were a spacefaring species.
You guys have had technology this entire time?
It only brought them misery and wars.
Like
with
the
alien
Batu.
species.
Batu? From Star Trek Insurrection? Now, fast forward montage. They're getting married.
Our scans show that valuable material lays.
Have we seen this race before? It looks so familiar.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, baby.
Or
But
the
you
one.
aren't even a few. You're just one.
Right. That ship is real. I mean, that little shuttle is really tough. Shouldn't it have exploded?
What the f is going on?
But now I understand love and sacrifice. I feel a call to duty.
Prissy little robot. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. So simple, but still so funny.
Feel free to come on over and take whatever you want. Everyone here is a tree-kissing farmer.
Oof.
There won't be any pushback.
It's just disappointing.
I wasn't going to spend the rest of my very long robotic life on a freaking bird planet.
Dude.
How could you?
Oh
Okay.
boy, here comes the waterworks. This guy cries at everything. He even cries after we do it.
Wait, Peanut Hamper, you still have a chance to be a hero. Someone has to get onto that ship, and I think
I see where this is going, and no thanks.
Get back here right now, Ensign! That's an order!
Smell you later. Oh yeah, and I mean that literally.
Ugh. It's super frustrating. Damn.
Everyone, practice
Back to dry dock for the Cerritos.
for the flock!
How does he know how to fly that? How does anybody know how to fly those things?
You know who I should have called? The board.
That's low. It's really low.
Peanut hamper, is it?
We've met him before too.
I must say, that's a mathematic...
Yes, it's Wei Yun. Wow. I really enjoyed this episode, but it's so hard to talk about. It was hard to talk about even when I watched it the first time because it focused like exclusively on this other character, this lower decks of the lower decks officer, Peanut Hamper. I'm assuming Peanut Hamper was an officer. Did they say? I don't remember. But anyway, like we don't spend time with any of our usuals, so can't talk about like Mariner or Boimler or Tendi. It was a remarkably interesting episode that they went in this direction. They decided to turn the focus away from our main characters, just like Next Generation did on the Lower Decks episode. Focused on characters who were not part of the main cast. Very meta, very, very interesting. And of course, like, there was a lot of beautiful artwork, especially in the beginning, the introduction and the music. The music was great all around. Like, I think it was like all new music. It was none of the usual Lower Decks themed music, and it was great. It was a great job. But it made me think a lot about like I was in the middle of a D&D campaign. The music, not the episode itself. But that's great. There's nothing wrong with that either. The only thing I didn't enjoy was the journey, or the lack of journey, for Peanut Hamper, because I really, really disliked Peanut Hamper in the beginning, and then it seemed she was learning, and growing, and I liked that a lot. But then it turned out that it was all an act. At least that's how I interpreted it, that it was all an act. Like, there was a moment where I thought maybe it was a genuine turn, like when Rauda takes her to look at the ships of their ancestors, and Peanut Hamper just like lays down her entire flawed history, and I'm like, why bother doing that if you're just trying to play these people anyway? You could say anything about yourself. You don't have to tell the truth, and you could still play these people. But she told the truth, and I thought that there was a reason for that beyond just helping to sell her story. But nope, there was no better reason for that, except to lean harder into, the misdirection of the audience. But again, like, I found that disappointing because, well, even the episode, like, suggested anyway, I guess it didn't promise that there was going to be a redemption arc. It said, was it a mathematically perfect redemption? And I guess it was because Peanut Hamper was turning her redemption arc into like a math equation, like A plus B equals, C, the result that she wants, which is to be redeemed in the eyes of Starfleet. And yeah, I guess in that case, the title of the episode was spot on, because it was a mathematically perfect redemption, except for being discovered at the end. It was just disappointing. I don't care if Peanut Hamper appears ever again in this show, although I do remember wondering if it's possible that Peanut Hamper turns out to be like the big bad at the very end, especially with the other self-aware machines. But anyway, I just wanted it to be a worthwhile journey, and how is it going to be a worthwhile journey if there's no growth? I mean, yes, it's a comedy. Yes, this show is, hyper comedic, but there's still growth in our characters. Mariner and Boimler, Tendi, Rutherford, they all learn something, a little bit of something. They don't just remain, I don't know. It's a minor gripe, but it's a gripe. Despite all that, though, I will repeat that I did enjoy this episode a lot, and I hope that you enjoyed my reaction to it, even though this is, like I said, my second time through. Hopefully, I don't have to do this a third time, because if I have to do this a third time, I don't know if I can do this a third time. Cross my fingers that the audio issue I encountered earlier has resolved itself. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming back to my channel. Please hit like and subscribe. Please tell your friends to check out my channel. As we approach the end of Lower Decks, I really appreciate all of your views, all the times you view my channel, and any likes and comments. I love comments. Oh man, I really love your comments. Please leave more comments. And everybody have a happy new year. I'll see you in 2023.